he got mad.
Until he got mad at human beings.
No, well, yeah, no, well, yeah, until he got mad at the two human beings.
Yeah, two human beings.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I thought we were, yeah, I thought we were supposed to live forever until
Human
he
beings.
just
For
exactly.
right.
But we were a super deep man. So, but you got anything that's been on your mind you want to talk about?
Conversations that I normally have. Again, a mixture of religious conversations, political conversations, just again, I did a lot of philosophy, I studied a lot of philosophy and whatnot and do a lot of works and readings and philosophy as well. I was going to be a philosophy major when I really originally went to school, but they told me I'd
Philosophy.
never get a job doing philosophy. So,
That's
so I got
philosophy is
I
pretty
got the hell
dope.
out of there, and I got involved in politics instead, and politics pretty damn close to philosophy.
You know what? And that's my thing. That's my thing. That's my
Yeah, I just like to
purpose
think, just
of
thinking.
of whatever talk for me. It's it's an intimidation to think to humanity for like if people
Mm-hmm.
are intimidated by thinking because they would rather be aware of their own delusion. but but yeah, thinking this I used to think thinking was contagious, but I know, but now I know that if you think a little bit, it's not going to make you think more. To a lot of people,
I mean, it should. I mean, I know when
I
I
mean,
get to
it
thinking,
should.
I know
Yes,
when I
I
get to
think it
thinking a
should.
lot, or else it is, or I find something, or I think about something, it usually leads me into thinking about something else, or I have to go look up
Mhm.
something else or research something else. It usually
Yep.
leads me to more thinking, or else it is when I get to thinking. But for others who don't like thinking or are afraid to think, or have practiced not thinking, or have been told that they shouldn't think,
It's not
um,
convenient to think.
no. Yeah. It's too inconvenient for them to think. It's much more convenient just to be told what to do and then just do it than to actually think for themselves and actually have to deduce information themselves when you can just have someone else just tell you what something else says or what it means and having to think of it for yourself.
Yeah.
Just the overall condition of a lazy society that we currently find ourselves living in.
I embrace my thoughts. Like I have talked about how I think thinking will probably flip the script of civilization. A matter of fact, I believe I think it will actually flip the script of civilization because one, the government wouldn't be able to do what they've been doing, especially white people wouldn't be able to do what they've been doing. but but I embrace my thoughts. Like no matter what they are, like I don't fear anything that I think about because it's just thoughts. Like I am not my thoughts. I just like to talk about them. How are
Yeah.
you going to get better understanding about whatever it is, especially your own thoughts, if you don't talk about them and if you don't ponder on them? Like
Yeah.
I think it's the difference between worrying and thinking a lot.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Those are two different things.
Even though worrying is thinking a lot, but embracing the
Yeah, worrying obviously has a connotation to it, else it is. Normally, worrying has a emotional attachment to it,
mm-hmm,
whereas feeling necessarily, where people are going to be thinking, where we're going to get to the point though, where people are thinking actually less and less.
mm-hmm,
I mean, think
mm-hmm.
about what is currently happening with AI and Chat GPT, artificial intelligence, or else it is. They are actually, the government and private capitalism is actually going out of their way to make it so that people actually have to think less. Now, why would you
Mm-hmm.
want a population of human beings to actually think less? If not for the reason, obviously, of imprisonment, mental
Enslavement.
imprisonment,
Mm-hmm.
enslavement, control. You're actually taking the thought process away from human beings, essentially turning human beings into robots themselves.
Yes. Like you are the AI, not the AI itself. You are the AI. You're the artificial intelligence. You're putting on a
Mhm.
persona that you got smarts. And I was actually going to start off the show with what you just said, because when I opened up a Zoom after I told you when it started to do its update thing after when it finally opened, they notified me of a new AI feature. And I was like, man, I've been wanting to talk
Mhm.
about this for like 3 episodes. And I'm like, AI is showing civilization how retarded civilization is.
Yeah,
It's really
absolutely.
it's showing you, and that's part of the aware of your own delusion. That's part of that category. I feel when the what is it, Chat GPT, whatever it's called, when that was in
Yep.
the heavily in the news some months ago, they were saying that
Yeah.
the creators, I forget who the creators was, they don't know why it's doing what it's doing. I'm like, people, are you not understanding that these niggas is telling you exactly what retardation is? Like, they telling you in your face that they're doing what they're doing. How are you gonna create something to do exactly what it's doing, but then tell me that you don't know why it's doing what it's doing? You programmed it
Right.
to do exactly what it's doing. And here you are,
Yeah.
hmm, I'm gonna go with that because I'm like, people, you
They've created an algorithm that they created an algorithm that they eventually will not be able to control. Now, I am not the smartest, leaf on the branch, but I've seen a few movies that start out very similar to this before, where you've created it and then you've created a
Skynet.
monster, technological monster, Rosalind, and you create this algorithm, and now you've lost control of that algorithm, and that algorithm turns on humanity. Now we're getting eerily close, it seems like, to this state and to this status where you have AI and these algorithms that then people unleash into the wilderness, and then they have no idea, like you said, about how to control them or why is it doing that or making that decision. Um,
You know
we're
exactly
going down a very dark,
why.
dark, dark path.
You know exactly why it's doing what it's
They
doing
know
because you
why.
created. Yeah.
Do they want to tell us? Do they want to tell us why? The why is
Hmm.
because they're going to eventually replace human beings, right? Is that there is a population of people out there who are fully aware about the shortness of human existence, whether on this planet or any other, right? And
Hmm.
so they are basically, it's the same reason why there's so much movement towards, flying in outer space, building hotels and living in outer space, trying to colonize Mars, or if you can live on the moon, what else it is. They're going to, they're trying to get the hell away from human beings. The wealthy are trying to get the hell away from human beings. They are showing the ability that they don't need our ass, and they're going to find a way, most of this, to make the human existence or human beings somewhat irrelevant to a certain degree. And they're just shoving it down our faces now with artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. When you've got robots, also there's out there that can drive cars, shoot guns,
Hmm.
deforest entire forests of human beings, they're pretty much saying, we don't need your asses. We're going to figure out how to way to live a comfortable, wealthy, life with as little human beings and human involvement as possible.
Exactly. I don't know why this robot keep attacking colors. Probably because probably
Right.
due to the programming of the programmer.
Yeah.
Could that be? Could
Right.
that be? Probably. And
Yes.
then let's just say,
You actually don't know what it's doing. You did program it to study. Now, I'm not quite sure if I used the word study or not, but that's what it sounds like.
they're doing what you programmed it to do, which in your our history of America, American history shows how evil white people are and how the evil ways anything outside of white get treated. Therefore, if this AI is going back and learning humanity through the history of the digital ways, it's learning what you programmed it to be. It's learning what
Mm-hmm.
you have programmed us other people, humanity to be. Therefore, that's why colors are getting mysteriously attacked by AI.
The speed cameras are snapping black faces and following black faces in the crowd. They have all these motion cameras up at all these flagpoles and stoplights and all these lights, and they just so happen to be capturing and easily being able to capture and highlight black faces and people of color, real it
Mm-hmm.
is. Meanwhile, they can't seem to make out all these white faces.
Could it be that they're too fair skinned? How they
Right.
like to say fair.
Yeah, the algorithm was made to depict and clarify dark complexion and people of color.
Like I know it's identifying you because it knows not to pick you out. That's how it's
Right.
identifying you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of times when you're telling something what to do, you're also telling it what not to do. You have to give it both sides of both.
Or else it'd be a robot
Right.
and not AI. Wow.
Things.
Wow. Let's talk about this one last thing. Let me get out of here. I was listening to this science podcast
about how we as humans are breathing wrong. And we've been breathing wrong for virtually forever.
like it had me thinking like how are we breathing wrong? Like we're surviving to be the age that we are. And I'm almost guarantee that I doubt that you didn't even realize you were breathing until I brung up the conversation about breathing.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, how are we breathing wrong? Because prior the conversation of talking about breathing, which is now you're being aware that you're breathing now, since we're just happen to be talking about it.
Right.
Prior this conversation, we were breathing. We didn't like bring attention to the fact that we breathing, but we were breathing, meaning that our body is breathing wrong for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
are we intentionally breathing wrong on purpose, even though we're not even aware? Like, if I bring attention that you're breathing, a lot of you will probably suffocate because you're aware now that you're breathing, and now you're trying to dictate your breathing because the topic of conversation of breathing science. You can't tell me when the last time you blinked until now.
Right.
So how are we breathing wrong? Science. Mm-hmm.
How are we defining this wrong of living, of breathing? And I would also then be curious to have, was there ever a moment in time when we were breathing right? What is breathing good look like?
Yes.
And who's doing it? And at what point in human existence were we breathing the right way? And at what point in human existence do we start breathing the wrong way? And is breathing right a learned experience? Is it a trained? Is it something that happens natural? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure we were breathing in the womb I'm pretty sure we were breathing in the womb and collecting oxygen in there as well. Were we breathing right in the womb and now we're not breathing right because we're no longer attached to an umbilical cord and getting fed and getting oxygen that way? I mean, there's just so many open-ended with science sometimes. Yeah.
Yes. Let me just say, I really enjoy talking to you.
I
Because
appreciate it.
what you just said, that's the type of stuff that led me to think about what I just said. Like, I love science.
Yeah.
We like to compare these things, but if religion is real, science is just here to entertain us.
Right. That's right. No kidding.
But
No kidding. Best TV show ever.
yes, but yeah, I'm thinking like that. And like again, like I enjoy science, but at the same time, I read on how they word things when they speak. And it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
science is afraid that it's about to become irrelevant for some reason.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be or like let me just say like